In a forgotten corner of Texas, where the mountains meet the desert and the river draws the line between nations, there's a park full of silence, beauty, and buried secrets. Out here, the land whispers. Old mines still hold the scent of mercury. Canyons echo back in ways that don't feel natural. There's a rock that looks like it could fall at any second, but never does. A hot spring etched with strange messages from nearly a century ago. From deadly heat to ghost towns, singing rocks to ancient reptiles, this might just be the strangest and most dangerous national park you've never truly known. I'm Ash, and I'm the daughter.
I'm Liz, and I'm the mom.
And this is The Lesser Known. I had a really hard time saying mercury. It took me like 5 tries, and you guys will probably see the bloopers. But I didn't think that was a word I would have to practice.
I wouldn't
Mercury.
either until I was like, oh, you can't say mercury. And I'm like, wait, is it
mercury?
Mercury? Maybe I can't say it either.
Yeah, that was I hope that that's the hardest word in here, because
that's what I was gonna say. I hope you don't have to say mercury throughout the whole thing. No,
I think maybe it's just a hard word because we never use that. Mercury. I don't think I've ever said it outside of like college when we were talking about the sprinklers that have mercury in them. That was the last time I said mercury.
Yeah, I don't know why we would say mercury.
You wouldn't.
And I even want to say it weird too. I want to say like mercury.
Anyway, so the question of the day is, do you think dreams have a deeper meaning?
It's hard to say. Do you mean like, do they have a deeper meaning in that like seeing
they're trying to tell us something
into the future or a past?
Either.
So I don't know if it's for future, but I do think that it is like part of how you're feeling at the time. Like, because when I watch something scary before bed, it's in my dream. If I'm having anxiety about something, it's in my dream. But also, I was thinking about this. I wonder if, I don't know if you know this, but I've heard that when you sleep, what happens is like either your long-term or your short-term memory gets put, I think your short-term memory gets put into your long-term memory while you sleep or something like that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Like your subconscious?
Kind of. Like, I think that like the things that you do during the day while you sleep, that gets put into your long-term memory. It's something like that. Like something weird happens with your memories while you're sleeping. And I'm wondering if like when those memories are going into like the long term, if what the dreams are is like you re-experiencing those memories.
I don't know.
So I don't think I really answered your question.
No. I also don't really understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't really understand it either. I had heard like one thing about this, but I heard and I was like, oh, that makes sense. And that was like 2 years ago.
Oh.
I do think it has to do with your daily, like the things that you're worried about and thinking about all day. And even if like there's a certain person in your dream, I don't necessarily think it's about that person. I think it's maybe what that person represents.
Yeah, I could see that. I have heard that like you only have like you can't just make up a person. Like you have to have seen their face before.
I've heard that too.
Yeah. But I don't know.
I have a lot of dreams with like my dad in them. And you know, he died in 2009, I think. So it has been a long time, but he'll just be in my dream like as though he's like it's not startling or shocking to me. I'm like, oh hey, you know, like, and we're talking about stuff, and then I wake up and I was like, oh, that was weird. It's like,
yeah,
he was in my dream, like he shouldn't have been in my dream, but like I don't see it that way when I'm in the dream, which is kind of weird. But yeah, how about you? You think dreams mean something?
Yeah, I think they can tell us like a little bit. I don't think they tell us the exact future, but I think they can tell us maybe something that we were thinking. But the only reason I think that dreams have a deeper meaning is because I remember when I was younger, I had a dream that Papa Georgia died before he died. It wasn't the same way, but I had a dream that, what was it? Like he got shot or something? But like I never dream about him and I didn't really see him, you know? And then I think like a few months later he he did die of like a heart attack. So I think that our dreams do, and I was too young to even know, like, you know, that like I was too young to think about him dying, is what I'm saying. So it's not something that I just would have been like, oh yeah, it's a possibility that he might die, you know?
Yeah.
So I do think your dreams can like tell you something.
Yeah, but it's like we don't pay attention to them enough. Because it's like I remember them when I wake up and then I'm like, oh, I just forget about it and then like never think about it again.
I look up dreams, especially when I have like a reoccurring one, because I really think that that's important. Like it's trying to, I think maybe it's based off of your past and then it like kind of makes a future. It doesn't like tell you the future, but it makes a future based on like what's going on in your life. Does that make sense?
Like
it's
the
like
direction your life is taking because of your past experience.
Yeah. I just think like we have to listen to it. I've been wanting to write them down because I've had some like crazy realistic dreams and they don't always end up true, but like some of them do. And it's weird. And some I have like reoccurring dreams and it's the exact same dream, which is crazy. Like there's not even a detail that's different.
You should at least write those down and see if it has anything to do with like future stuff. You know how like we were talking about in one of the off the map episodes about your scary dream. So I actually found that where I was writing down my dreams and they make absolutely no sense. Because what I did was when I first woke up, I would write down like all the things that I remember from the dream, and I'm like, none of these things go together or make any sense at all. like this is crazy stuff. It was like in a basement, Azaria was there. There was shelves. We were putting something. You know, it was like what? Like I don't remember them at all. It was just like such weird stuff. So I'd be curious to see like when you write them down, like what you're gonna see in those dreams.
Sometimes my dreams are like that, where they're just super random, but some other times that are like really detailed and specific. I would say like 80% of the time, my dreams are more specific than not. I either like don't dream for a night or don't remember it, or it's like super specific or it doesn't make any sense at all. But most of the time it's specific. And I know when I'm dreaming, which is nice because if I have a bad dream, sometimes I can't wake myself up, but I can just say it's a dream, it's a dream.
Yeah,
it's not scary.
It's not real. Yeah, that's happened to me a few times, but not usually.
Okay, so I do have a Yelp review. This is about dry tortugas. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, National dry Tortuga.
Park? Okay. And so the S.
Do you know what Tortuga is?
No, but it makes me think of like the toga thing, like the.
I think it's tortoise, like I think it's a turtle.
Oh,
okay. I think I'm not for sure, but
I mean, probably it makes sense. But it's about that national park, which is in Florida. Someone wrote, "I paid full price for only 1% of land?" ? Well, 3 question marks. Park is literally 99% water. ... My shoes got wet too. Like what? ? More like the not dry Tortuga National Park.
Oh my God. Like they're literally going in the Caribbean.
Well, like all you can think of map, it's like this much land.
Yeah, all you can think of is sand and super blue water. What was she thinking? That's like saying maybe, like going to Jamaica and being like, oh my God, I got wet from the beach.
Yeah, well, and maybe like do some research, like what is there to do in dry Tortuga? Because it'll probably say scuba dive or, anything related to water. Not
that's not like a hiking park. It's not like a mountainous hiking park, obviously. Yeah. I mean, if she just like takes a plane there, she probably had to take some teensy tiny plane over there.
I like that we assume it's a woman just based off the
is it not?
way it's written. I don't know.
I mean, it's gotta be, right?
I know. Well, because what got me was my shoes got wet too. Like what?
Yeah, I can't imagine a guy would say that, but maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tortuga, it's a Caribbean island, a fictionalized island in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and a brand of travel backpacks.
Oh.
Anyway, it goes on. It translates to turtle in Spanish, so it is turtle.
Nice. Oh, that makes me want to go there even more because of Pirates of the Caribbean.
But wait, what I think I just said was tortuga can be referred to several. I didn't say dry tortugas. I think
Well, yeah, we're just figuring out what Tortuga means, not dry
it refers
Tortuga.
to several things, notably a Caribbean island. Do you say Caribbean or Caribbean?
It
I kind of
depends.
say both. Yeah,
I say pirates of um
the Caribbean.
yeah. So do you remember what I used to say that, but now I feel stupid saying that. But I say Pirates of the Caribbean, and then I say Caribbean if I'm talking about like the actual
Me too. I
Caribbeans.
wonder what that's about.
It's probably one of those Mandalia or Mandel whatever the heck effects.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Oh.
Like how the Monopoly guy doesn't have a monocle, and we all think it does.
I don't understand that. Or
It's
it's
probably one
some
of
of the
those.
peanut guy, I thought, too.
Oh yeah, and the fruit of the loom or whatever, that it doesn't have the basket.
Yeah, the cornucopia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably one of those things.
Probably.
All right. So before we dive into today, I wanted to give a quick shout out to a website that I stumbled across. It was called National Park Obsessed, and the creator breaks down the parks in like a super helpful way, and I got a ton of information about the national park. And it even tells you like things to do and just like all the stuff we talk about, but then also things to do. So it's really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. If you didn't gather it by the brief intro, we're talking about Big Bend National Park in Texas. Because it's located in a remote corner of Southwest Texas, it's one of the least visited parks in the US with only 560,000 visitors a year, which also means it has the least amount of light pollution than any other national park in the lower 48 states. The night skies are so dark you can clearly see the Milky Way, satellites, and even meteor showers with the naked eye.
That's awesome. I never experienced that until I went to Vermont.
Yeah, you can, if you go to places in Arizona, you can definitely see it too. Like there's some places in Flagstaff that you can go and it's like zero light pollution.
I thought it was only in the movies. Like I didn't even know that was like a real thing. When I saw that, when they would show the skies in the movies, I'm like, oh yeah, right. Like it actually looks like that. But it actually looks like that.
Yeah. One of the most unique features of this park is the Rio. Do you say Grande or Grande? Rio Grande.
I thought it was Rio Grande. Do you want me to look it up?
So no. I'm just asking because we always say grande. Like when you go to Starbucks, you're like, oh, I'll have a grande, whatever. But there's a place near us called Casa Grande, but it's spelled like that. And some people say Casa Grande, but if you like live there, they say Casa Grande. It's weird.
I feel like
so
it's
I was
grande.
Just wondering. I think it's grande.
I think it is too. It sounds
but it doesn't
better.
sound right in this situation.
Rio Grande.
The Rio Grande. Maybe it does, I guess. Okay. Anyway, so the Rio Grande River that runs along its edge, serving as a natural border between the US and Mexico. You can actually canoe or kayak along the river, technically floating between the two countries. But if you step onto the Mexican side without proper documentation, like your passport, not just like your regular passport, but if you have the card, that's okay, because that is like land and sea travel. But if you step onto there without it, it's illegal and you can be arrested on site. Big Bend was the first national park established in Texas on June 12, 1944, and it remains the largest in the state, spanning 801,000 acres or 1,200 square miles, which makes it larger than the entire state of Rhode Island. It's also the 14th largest national park in the U.S.
I want to say one thing. You say Texas weird.
Why?
You say Texas. Texas? You say it different than I do.
No, I don't.
Yes,
How do you say it?
Texas.
How did I say it?
You say
Texas?
Texas.
I don't hear it. I do not say it like that. That sounds really weird. I don't hear that at all. I'm gonna, when we replay this, when I listen to it and edit, I'm gonna,
because every time you say it, I smile. I'm like,
I don't think I say it like that.
It's cute.
Anyway, it's obviously not cute. You said it was weird.
Well, I'm your mom. I have to say nice things.
All right, cute or nah?
Cute or not, Texas.
Don't say it like that.
Texas.
Anyway, before it became a national park or even a place of exploration, it was covered by a shallow sea known as the Western Interior Seaway. The Big Bend region remained a large basin, or a sunken block is what they referred to it as, that was filled with new silt, sand, and clay, preserving the bones of ancient mammals. From around 45 to 30 million years ago, Big Bend experienced many volcanic eruptions that laid down ash and lava. Eventually, with the tectonic plates shifting and erosion, it created the mountains that we see today.
I didn't know there's mountains.
Yeah. It's actually the only park in the U.S. that has an entire mountain range within it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So it must be like a really small mountain range.
Yeah. I don't think I say how big it is, but we do go into it a little bit later. Early explorers and settlers often avoided this region, calling it the uninhabitable desert because it's desolate, dangerous, and apparently cursed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So why did so many people back then think it was so dangerous, and why is it among the most dangerous national parks in the U.S. today? Well, Big Bend was the only site... Big Bend was the only site from Texas listed in the study from personal injury litigators at Triumph Law. The study ranked Big Bend at number 5 as being the most dangerous national park in the nation. Researchers revealed it has about 5.9 deaths per 1 million, like per 1 million visitors. And the study also named it the 8th most dangerous national park for hiking, with 12 deaths over the past 11 years just from hiking. So, like, at least one person dies a year from hiking, which is crazy.
Yeah, so beware. Hikers beware.
Mm-hmm.
Is it from the heat?
And yeah, I was going to say, not surprising, the most common cause of death is hyperthermia, so from heat. And because it's located in it looks like Chihuahua. I think that's how you say it. The Chihuahua Desert?
I think it's Chihuahuan.
Chihuahuan. Okay.
We'll just call it Chihuahuan.
It's located in the Chihuahuan Desert, where summer temperatures reach or exceed 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and winter is usually 70 or above.
I know the summers are hot, but it sounds decent, like as far as like the winters, because I feel like a lot of those desert areas get so cold at night.
Mm-hmm.
Like even by you.
Yeah, it gets like 30 here in Arizona, which is crazy in the winter.
I think it's crazy because it's such a temperature fluctuation.
Mm-hmm.
You could have it like 120 or 30. It's like, no. Like, you can't do that. People can't deal with that kind of thing.
Yeah. Outside the dangers of the park, it is really pretty from the pictures that I've seen, and it looks like there's a lot of cool things associated with it. So the mountain range that's contained in the park that we talked about is the Chisos Mountain. The Chisos Mountains are also home to the Colima warbler, which is a bird found almost nowhere else in the country since it's a bird from Mexico. The park isn't just all mountains and desert, though. It does also have hot springs, canyons, rocks that defy gravity, mines, ghost towns, and some of the craziest fossils found in the U.S. Hidden off a dirt road near the Rio Grande area are the ruins of a 1920s bathhouse built around natural hot springs called the Boquila. Boquila? I know it's not that, but that's what it looks like.
I know what you're talking about because I did like a quick search on the park because I knew nothing about it. Boquillas.
Boquillas. Okay. So not Boquilas, it's Boquillas Hot Springs.
It sounds much better.
Also known as the Langdon Hot Springs. You know what that name reminds me of, though?
Boquillas?
Have you seen the that skit? I think it was on Saturday Night Live. It was like Bon Qui Qui at King Burger. Oh, no. That's what it reminds me of. Because her name's Bon Qui Qui, so Boquila. Anyway, back to the Langdon Hot Springs. They stay at 105 degrees Fahrenheit year-round, and They are one of the most fascinating and oddly eerie places in the park and hold some weird stories. The story goes that in 1909 in Alpine, Texas, Langford overheard a guy talking about an old hot spring with medicinal waters down the Rio Grande River. Since he had malaria at the time and he was kind of like dying and sick, he decided to buy the land sight unseen and moved his wife and kids all the way from Mississippi to Texas.
I think those are insane, the sight unseen.
Yeah, I didn't even, yeah.
There's
just pick up and go.
Did you see how you can buy a house in Italy for $1?
Yeah, I've seen things like that. They have something like that in Switzerland too.
I follow someone on Instagram. I just started following them because they bought a house in Italy for $1 and they're fixing it up. So it's like super interesting, but that's like sight unseen. They like basically never went there. They just bought it and then they went there and now they're like fixing it up.
I would do that though, because that's $1, you know?
Right.
You can't
but
get
it is
here
gutted
anymore.
though. Like, I mean, it is like nothing. But yeah, for $1, you could even like sell it for $100 and you made $99.
Yeah. When they got there, he built a 2-story 20 by 20 foot limestone bathhouse, including a pump for a separate tub for other people's with the social disease. Other people's? For other people with the social disease.
So if you're like soaking in the hot springs, you're just soaking around with people with social diseases.
Well, because they have medicinal properties. So that was what his vision was. That the springs were going to cure people. But yeah.
It would just feel kind of gross if you're just like soaking. It's like being in a bathtub with people with diseases.
Yeah. I don't think they were all like sitting there at the same time. I think it was like you go into the bathtub. But I guess you don't clean it either because like you can't drain it. It's a hot spring. Yeah, it's gross.
Self-clean. No Band-Aids floating on the top of the water.
Ugh, that was so gross. I told you about that, right?
You did.
Yeah, it was nasty.
It was in one of our episodes.
Ugh. Yeah. Well, remains of that tub are still visible today. Langford also built his home up on a bluff directly above the bathhouse so that he could see.
It's weird that you could just go and buy a hot springs area.
Well, I think it was like a different time, though. I mean, this is back in the like really early 1900s, so it makes a little bit of sense.
It makes more sense, but it just seems weird, right? Like he had heard about it. So who did he contact? And he's like, hey, I want to buy that piece of land. Yeah, we have Google and I wouldn't even know how to ask to buy a piece of land.
Yeah. Facebook Marketplace.
Right.
Langford claimed that after 21 days of bathing in and drinking the mineral water that he was cured. So he decided to stay and build more. Him and his family finished the bathhouse, built a store, post office, and cabins for visitors, transforming the remote hot spring into a desert wellness retreat. The site became a hub for travelers, homesteaders, and even Mexican villagers who crossed the river for supplies or healing soaks. The bathhouse was simple. It was stone walls surrounding a rectangular pool where the spring bubbled up. People soaked in the warm, mineral-rich water, believing it could treat anything and everything from arthritis to digestive issues. He ran the hot spring resort until the 1940s, taking a break in 1912 because of border unrest. And so there was like a lot of war stuff going on. And there were a lot of Mexican bandits along the river. So he closed it down for a little bit. And the army suggested that everyone leave the area, hoping to return once things cooled off a bit. They didn't return until 1927, so it's about 15 years later, and everything that they had built was in shambles, so they had to rebuild it again. Everyone knew a national park was being planned, and the days of Langford Hot Springs were numbered. On May 27th, 1942, the family conveyed the property for park purposes only to Texas for only $10. So they sold it for $10.
Oh my God.
$10. Isn't that crazy?
Insane.
Yeah. I had to like double check my research because I was like, there's no way.
Because even in today's dollars.
Yeah, it's probably super cheap.
It's still probably like $100 or let's just say $1,000 even. Like,
I mean, well, it's probably, yeah, it's probably not that much. It's crazy.
So you put that on Facebook Marketplace And then
Yeah,
and then the
$10.
government was like, is this still available?
Yeah. National Park Service replied back.
Is this still available? Do you ever watch those videos about people in their Facebook Marketplace mishaps?
No.
So funny. I'll send you some. It's so funny.
Well, do you have an example?
No, it's just like how when you're selling something on Facebook Marketplace and then someone's like, "Is this still available?" And then you're like, "Yeah, it is." Blah blah blah, and then they just disappear. Like they just like never respond again.
I think those are like the scams.
I don't know. I feel like some of them like actually seem like real people, but it's just so frustrating selling anything on Facebook Marketplace.
I have seen people put in their description, if you respond with, "Hi, is this available?" I'm not replying. Or they'll be like, "Yes, it's available if it's up." Like, because they don't want to be asked, "Is it available?"
Yeah, it's like annoying.
Right. But I get it, because sometimes I forget about things on there until someone replies. I'm like, "Oh, yeah, forgot." It's not.
Yeah, I just like don't like selling stuff on there. I've done it, but it's just it's a pain, first of all. And then you'll sell something for $5 and they're like, "Will you take 2?" It's like, you can't. $5?
It's just
like
$5. Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Anyway, so everything became a part of Big Bend National Park in 1944 when the park opened. The resort continued operating as a concession run by Maggie Smith and later by Pete and Etta Scott until 1952. Then it shut down, and sadly the Park Service chose to dynamite the old bathhouse in the early 1950s. Yeah, only the stone foundation remained as a pool open to the sky.
So there's no more hot springs?
I mean, the springs are there, but it's just not like a bathhouse. You know what I mean? Like, it's not.
It's somewhere you can go, though, if you wanted.
Yeah. So the hot springs are cool because of their history, but what's even more intriguing are the canyons. And this park actually has so many canyons that it was almost named the Texas Canyon National Park, but it was named Big Bend instead because of the bend in the river. During certain seasons in the canyons, wind can carry a strange mineral smell through parts of the park, especially Santa Elena Canyon. Some say it smells like salt or sulfur and think that it's remnants of the area's volcanic and marine past, but there hasn't been any proven theories as to why it has this smell. There's also something called Devil's Den. It's a narrow slot canyon formed by flash floods and extreme erosion. It's remote and dangerous to enter because the hike involves rock scrambling, loose gravel, and heat exposure since there's no shade, signage, and zero cell service. Hikers who do climb it and find it describe it as claustrophobic, beautiful, and weirdly silent because the canyon absorbs sound, except when the wind shifts. Hikers report a moaning or humming sound created by the air pressure between the canyon walls.
Creepy.
Super creepy. There have also been multiple incidents of people becoming lost, injured, or trapped inside, and flash floods can funnel through without warning. That'd be terrifying.
That would be so bad.
Some hikers have reported compasses spinning, tech glitches, and feeling of confusion or disorientation, possibly due to the magnetite in the surrounding rock. And early ranchers claimed that even their livestock would avoid the area entirely, and cattle refused to pass through the opening.
I don't blame them.
I know. Animals can definitely tell us.
They can definitely. They know things. Like, they can feel stuff.
Yeah, I think it's going back to that when we talked about like instincts. Like, I think if we trusted our instincts more, we would be more like animals where they just know to stay away from the danger.
I think we definitely should.
Some also believe that Devil's Den was once used as a smuggling route or hiding spot due to its concealment and proximity to the border, which I would believe because if no one wants to go there.
Except the flash floods. You can't really store much there.
Another obscurity located in Grapevine Hills, which is just an area in the park, is called Balanced Rock. This is a massive boulder perched between two tall, skinny boulders, and the rock itself is made of volcanic tuff, which is soft rock formed from the ash that hardened over time. It's estimated to weigh several tons and is supported by two much smaller rocks, and has been stable for thousands of years. While balanced rock isn't officially linked to any ancient folklore, some locals and spiritual hikers say it's a portal or energy vortex and a place where the Earth's energy feels amplified.
I like that.
Another place with odd energy is the Mariscal Mine. The whole area gives an eerie vibe. The mine is 22 miles down a primitive river road, which you need a high clearance vehicle or a 4x4, and is filled with rusting equipment, crumbling stone walls, and old furnaces that were once used to extract the toxic liquid mercury. To this day, there are still warning signs that caution against touching anything due to the residual contamination. And during wartime between 1900 and 1943, it produced 1,400 flasks of mercury, which is nearly 25% of all of the U.S. production for that time.
You know how mercury is like dangerous. I don't know why it's dangerous,
don't touch it.
But yeah, but they didn't know that back then. So I wonder how many people died super young when they're mining and stuff.
Well, there's a cemetery that you can talk about.
Yeah, that is the one thing I did look up.
So the mercury was used for detonators and blasting caps during the war. The mine relied largely on Mexican immigrant laborers, many escaping revolutionary violence in Mexico for that time. They lived in crude shelters and then later built stone houses with whenever the finances allowed.
Mhm.
But they were only paid $1 to $1.50 for a 10-hour day and were forced to spend wages at the company's store for like food and water and stuff.
So basically free.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I don't know what it equates to at this time, but again, like it doesn't seem like that much, especially when you're putting your life on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awful.
And most of them did suffer from mercury poison, which many people died from.
Mm-hmm.
And today the site still shows elevated mercury levels in the soil and sediment. NPS is actively working to assess and remediate contamination under federal environmental laws. And the area is said to hold some hauntings as well. So I'm excited to hear what you have to say about that. Another haunting place is a ghost town called Terlingua Abajo. Founded in the 1880s as a cinnabar, which is like a mercury ore, it was a booming mining town. It quickly grew to about 2,000 residents by the 1900s, which was a lot back then. And thanks to major operations like the Chisos Mining Company, the town was well equipped, and they ran the post office, commissary, furnaces, phone lines, and even a theater and school later on. So it was like a whole town.
Yeah.
But after the mine closed in the 1940s, people slowly returned in the 1960s just for like tourism and stuff like that, because it became a national park, so people couldn't live there. In fact, you can visit the Starlight Saloon, and they've done like some mild renovations, but they still tried to keep the integrity of the saloon. And they have world famous chili that's served out of there.
Cool.
And the International Chili Cook-Off began in 1967, and Terlingua became and is still considered the chili capital of the world.
No way.
The last cool thing about this park is there are over 90 dinosaur species that have been discovered in the park. Some of the fossils found in the park are about 130 million years old and include fossils that belong to a 40-foot long crocodile named Dino. I don't even know how to say it. You can look it up. It looks like Dinosaur, but I'm sure that's not it. But anyway, they named the crocodile.
It's probably like Deshaun or something, and you're like,
no, it's definitely not that. It was an ancient predator that once swarmed the area's inland sea and could swallow dinosaurs whole. And they also found a 1,000-pound turtle fossil.
I wonder how old it lived to be, because like even nowadays turtles live to be up to like 200 years old or something. Yeah. I wonder how old it got.
I don't know. I should
That's really cool.
I should look that up because that's interesting. And to put this into perspective, the 40-foot crocodile is the size of a school bus. That's how long 40 feet is. Yeah. And it had 6-inch teeth. So like half a foot.
Insane. And that was
Mm-hmm.
probably normal back then. So like
Mm-hmm.
it sounds huge right now, but they were probably just like roaming around all the time.
Yeah. If you want to see more of this, the park does have its own open air fossil exhibit with complete life-size replicas of the creatures.
I would love to see
And
that.
they show like a T-Rex next to the crocodile. It reminds me of in Jurassic Park when they got the crocodile thing. Have you seen that one? They have like a huge, it looks like a ocean crocodile
In the
and it's like
water.
giant.
The one that
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't like jump out of the water, is it that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it eats the
Yeah.
T-Rex. Yeah. So I wonder if they like, you know, not like maybe didn't visit this national park, but they heard about this crocodile and they were like, oh, we should put that in the new Jurassic Park movie because it was a thing.
Maybe.
But that's all I have for Big Bend.
There's a lot there. Because when I originally looked up the pictures of it, it just looked like a desert at first.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw, oh, I was like, okay, the Rio Grande is there. And then, but the mountain
See, I told
parts,
you it sounds weird. Like
it did sound weird when I said it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just like when you first were saying it, I was like, yeah, it's obviously Rio Grande. But then when I tried to say it, I was like, oh, okay. But the whole mountain thing too. I didn't actually end up seeing any pictures of the mountains. Is that like usually where all the hiking is going on? Is the mountains?
I would assume, yeah, unless people are trying to hike that one Devil's Den place.
Very cool. I think there's going to be like a lot of haunting type things.
I think so too. So yeah, we're going to release our regular episode every other week now. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks for Mom's Haunting of Big Bend.
Exciting.
In Texas. Okay. All right. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right. See you guys. Bye.
Okay. Bye.